Well, this is long overdue. 2026 season opener with Gsxr750, American Superbike Racing Association, at Carolina Motorsports Park. All in all, not a bad season opener. I'm definitely not disappointed with how it performed. Obviously there's room for improvements. It's the first race of the season. Had some jitters, made some mistakes, but at the same time, I feel like I really capitalized after those mistakes were made. Signed up for 2 races on the Gsxr750. I ran the GTU and heavyweight supersport. I showed up Thursday night, really late, probably 3 a.m. Got up at 6 on Friday to get ready for the track day. Still had some things to shake down on the bike. From rebuilding it, different geometries, different suspension, pretty much changed everything on the bike except for like swing arms and just your basic bolt-on parts. So first thing Friday morning, got everything put together, got everything ready to go, ran a heat cycle, everything was looking good, got back out on track, just kind of break some rust out and, get loose, get back into the feeling of being on a motorcycle again. Shoot, I haven't been on a bike in almost 6 months prior to CMP, so obviously there were some nerves there just because I haven't been on the bike in forever, right? It went good though. Met some good people, shared some knowledge, did a little video coaching, I guess you could call it. No, but Friday went pretty good. Track wasn't horrible. It was a little bit on the colder side compared to the rest of the weekend, but it was still, 60s, 70s. It was absolutely gorgeous out. On some used tires from last year, so I wasn't really expecting much or pushing for anything. Obviously, it's a practice day, right? Moving into Saturday, all I had was warm-up Q1, Q2, and it's great for the sport seeing all the grids and all the classes completely packed and sold out. I love that. We're getting in a lot more people, a lot more really solid athletes and really good racers, which I'm so ecstatic for. But at the same time, when you're going out for a flyer and you're running into traffic, it can get a little aggravating. But that's just the name of the game, right? I'm sure when I make my motoamerica debut this season, all the fast guys up front are going to be saying the same thing about me, right? Being a back marker, hopefully not. Shooting for a top 15 at VIR for my debut, and that'd be really, really awesome. Anyways, Q1, Q2, didn't really get a good flying lap, didn't get a good qualifying time. I think I started P7 on the grid in both GTU, the 25-minute, and heavyweight supersport, which it's all right. I get some pretty solid starts anyway, so I knew if I can just get a good launch and keep that lead group in tow, I'll be all right. So, that was Saturday. Sunday, race day, woke up feeling great. I went to bed early. I woke up early, got a good breakfast, nothing too heavy. Went for a little jog and, just loosened up. Played some good music, listened to a podcast, chilled, watched some footage from the day before, just kind of get my mind right. First race was the 25-minute GTU, opening up right out of lunch. Let the track cool down. It was pretty hot on Saturday, Sunday. It was mid-80s. Track was pretty greasy. If you go to any of the top racers that were out there with Gsxr, they'll vouch for that. It was slick. Everybody was fighting for traction. Tire degradation was absolutely horrible. But I don't know if it's the cars going out there, the drifters, or just the track surface getting a little bit older, but it did chew up tires pretty quick, and probably after the 4th or 5th lap, everybody was really fighting for traction. But yeah, GTU got a good launch. Went from P7 to P4 within the first lap and a half. Made a mistake going into turn 11, I believe it was. I was right next to Trevor's car. Tried squeezing on the outside to make an outside pass, didn't quite work. Had trouble slowing down. Ran wide, actually ran off track, dropped back to P11, I think, P11, P13. With a massive gap in between myself and the lead group, and I think just something clicked in my head. I put my head down and charged. I ran the fastest lap of the race and really made up a lot of ground. in that 25 minutes. You know, I'm a fan of the longer durations, maybe not the endurance races, but the sprints. You know, 7 laps, you can't really get into a flow state. Your first one, obviously off the start, your time's going to be slower. Everyone's pretty tight knit, packed together. Once that field spreads out, you can start doing work, but unfortunately, you know, that takes a lap or two. And then by that point in time, you really only have 3 laps left before you can really charge and either chase down the leaders or try to set a good pace, you know. So ran off track in turn 11, left-hander at CMP, put my head down, started charging. And it was kind of funny. I was expecting a lot harder fight and a lot harder battles from the guys I was coming up on, knowing who they were, but I was in a great headspace and nothing was really bothering me. I was capitalizing on mistakes. I was changing up race lines and finding tenths, finding a few tenths here and there, and yeah, I ended up running low 37s, 37.4s, I believe it was, 37.2s, and charged P7, P4 down to P13, and then ended up finishing up in P3. I probably could have made a pass for P2. Going down the back straight, I missed a shift. I did a half shift, so I kind of hit a false neutral there for a minute, lost momentum, and couldn't seal the pass. No, it was great. I'm not disappointed. I'm not gonna say proud because I made some pretty costly mistakes, but I'm definitely not disappointed with how the GTU turned out. Got off track, didn't really have time to throw some new rubbers on or make sure they got up to temp, so I ran Q1, Q2 GTU on the same set of tires, and then I also ran the heavyweight supersport on the same front and rear. I knew it was already getting pretty slick, but if I can, you know, maybe brake a little bit earlier, brake a little less, and carry a little bit more roll speed, it'll make up for the lack of traction on exit and get a good drive. Kind of changed it up, ran more of a superbike style, like a point and shoot rather than, you know, your super sport or your lightweights, you know, carrying that tighter line. But no, heavyweight super sport went good. Off the launch, I actually didn't get a very good launch on the heavyweight super sport. Not quite my brand on the starts, but I got pinched off and was battling with some slower traffic, just trying to get around. It was a pretty tight knit group, so I mean, it was a little bit back and forth, changing lines, braking early. You know, not my normal braking points, just so I don't rear end somebody. There was a red flag, engine blew going into turn 11, and I think by turn 1 is when it started dumping oil. So they got that cleaned up real good. So thank you to the CMP track crew and the Gsxr crew for getting that cleaned up really hastily. Go back out there, same original grid, and it was a 4-lap sprint, so I knew I had to put my head down. The tires were hot on the warm-up lap, so it was time to push hard right out the gate. Got a good launch this time. I was still holding around P5. P1 and P2, they pulled a little bit of a gap, but towards the latter half, probably the last 2 laps, P3, 4, 5, and 6 all ended up closing the gap. I fought up to P3 and just didn't quite have enough time to track, or I'm sorry, P4, didn't quite have enough time to track down P3. With the shortened race, you know, it is what it is. You know, if I had more time, I know deep down that I very well could have gotten, you know, based off my grid position, P2. But no, the leaders are pretty good. I've battled with them before, and I know I can beat them. I have. Just situations, you know, I'm not making excuses. Tires, start, traffic, etc. I mean, it is what it is. But again, I feel like I performed pretty well for the season opener, and I'm happy with the results. I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have gotten there or done what I have done with the new setup, the K-Tech suspension with Kendall. over at Triple T Suspension. Bear Stevenson and Jamie, I'm sorry, I still don't know your last name, man. At Lejeune Motorsports, coming by at the end of Saturday, making sure everything was squared away, nothing needed to be changed, or if it did, we made the changes that we had to. KYT helmets keep me protected out there. Thank God I didn't have an off, but I did get to run the new Gsxr750 helmets and absolutely loved it. It doesn't even feel like you're wearing anything in your head. It's great. I absolutely love them. Crystal Coast Marine Contracting for supplying the 10x20 canopy. You know, making sure our setup looks professional and presentable for anybody coming by the paddock, walking around, asking questions. Blood lubricants, you know, kept the engine running cool, kept it running well, ensuring that everything's running the way it should be. Dunlop tires, like I said, I mean, they degraded pretty quick at CMP, but everybody was having that issue. It didn't matter if you were on Pirellis, Bridgestones, Michelin's, Dunlops, everybody was having tire issues, but I'm very pleased with how they held up and the wear that I got back and the feedback I get from Dunlops. Pin the Gas podcast, Chris Simcoe out there on the announcing booth for the weekend. That was pretty awesome to go back on YouTube and watch Ezra's live stream. The new camera setup that they got going and the whole new media crew that they have is absolutely fantastic. I hope they keep that up and we can get a bigger footprint and actually start being televised on more platforms instead of just YouTube or Facebook Live. I do not have my Khomeini suit yet. I am very eager to get that in and see the new design. I got the new liveries from RED Graphics. I'm waiting to put those on until the A-Bike next gen build is completed. I'll make a special video for that unveiling. And then Woodcraft Technologies coming in clutch with the spare parts for the handlebars, the clip-ons, and the rear sets and the armor bodies bodyworks. You know, they fit up absolutely fantastic. I love how they look. I love how they feel. Even after a crash, easily repaired and very durable. They hold up very well. So Woodcraft, absolutely fantastic. Thank you again. Johansson Farms up north in Rodney, Michigan, for the tire donations. I wouldn't have been able to run the GTU and the heavyweight Supersport without that set of tires, so thank you very much, Johansson Farms. And then I'd also like to thank Monkey Business Fabrication for supplying the new set of front brake pads for the races. After last season at Daytona, I pulled the brake pads off and realized that they were pretty non-existent. They're pretty smoked. So Monkey Business Fabrication came in clutch, hooking me up with a new set of brake pads. So thank you very much for that as well. Alrighty, everybody, that's going to be a wrap on the season opener at CMP with Ezra. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys out at Summit Point for Memorial Day weekend. We have a special event going on with the Foul Weather Warrior Foundation and Fuel One Racing. We'll have a new sponsor debut and a nice booth set up. So if you're a veteran, contact me, send me a DM, whatever it may be, and we can get you in the gate for free. And we may also have some t-shirts that we're giving away that are first come, first serve. If you get there, we'll have a t-shirt for you. I believe we only have 30 up front. So if you get there and we ran out, that's a good sign. That means we got enough veterans out there to support the sport, support our cause for suicide prevention and mental health awareness. James Harris, the founder of Foul Weather Warrior Foundation, is really pushing this issue hard, as we should be, to help all veterans and active duty service members get the help and attention that they need. Alrighty, folks, that's a wrap. We hope to see you out there Memorial Day.